Anti-gravity battery. Let's unbox it. See, it's got built-in jump start, stop start ready, which you need. There's 2 key fobs, one you keep in the car, one you keep out of the car. And got some nuts here. And as you can see, it's very light compared to a normal battery. I mean, I just picked that up left-handed. As far as I know, these come shipped with a storage charge, which is about 50%. So what I've heard is that before you install the battery, you need to charge it to full. So what you need is a ctek Lithium. You can't just use any old ordinary battery charger because, I don't know, lithium is much different. Charges overnight, and hopefully that will get it to the level that I need. So anyway, I'll see you all in the morning. All right, the day is here. The battery is charged all green. First thing we want to do is make sure all our windows are completely lowered. Always a good idea. Pop the hood. Can you see that red thing? Also open the glove box. Get your owner's manual out in case you need that for whatever reason. And let's get this hood open. Hood catch is here, just to the right. Pop it up. There we go. Next step, take this off. Turn them that way. They should just come out. And then you can see the battery wedged way back in there. Probably going to want to take off this piece of trim here. Looks like it's some Torx bolts. So I'm going to do that as well. That will allow us to pull the battery out probably quite a bit easier. So I apologize, it's not a Torx bit, it's actually a 4mm Allen wrench bit. So there's a bunch of screws you got to take out there, and there, and one down here. So in true pain in the ass fashion, we got to remove this lid, and then also remove this piece of weather stripping along here, which should be very easy to fix. It looks like it just kind of snaps back onto the piece of plastic itself. Make sure you're very careful not getting anything in the oil. And also there's a little surprise screw down there holding stuff in. Everything else though came off quite easily. But yeah, there's a little, looks like another 4mm Allen wrench. So I gotta get that bad boy off. So I had to use a little hand Allen wrench because it's down in there pretty far. And yeah, you don't want to drill on your paint here. So anyway, that's undone. Looks like we got everything all removed. So there's the battery down there. At this point, it's probably okay to put your oil cap back on. Nice aluminum oil cap there. So as always, you're going to want to disconnect the negative terminal first. This here has a quick release, I'm pretty sure. So you just do that, and then that comes right off. Slide that out of the way. And then we have, looks like some 10mm nuts on each of these. So we're gonna have to get those off in order to take the terminal holster off. And then also to remove the positive, we have this here. I believe this is a 13mm. I don't know if I'm just going to take the whole apparatus off. I'll probably do these two, and then that should free us up some space to wedge this thing out. So upon just removing this 10mm right here, this thing will slide up. Okay, so this right here is really bolted on hard. I don't want to break this chintzy plastic thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this back relatively far, and then there's a little hole in here. I'm going to zip tie it to this piece here, and then hopefully that will keep things out of the way and I can slide this battery out. All right, also to help, so you see that's all zip tied up there. Hopefully that keeps things out of the way. In order to make my life even easier, I'm going to remove this ground cable as well. 13 millimeter to do that. Be very careful moving this. This thing kind of sprung out and you don't want to lose any bolts down there. Who the hell knows where they'll wind up. Gotta be extremely careful not to lose any of these bolts. But yeah, 2 10 millimeters here and here, and hopefully we can get this bracket off. All right, so for this guy back here, use an extension on your 10 millimeter socket, and then get it to where you can hand crank it, get that off. I don't believe these posts will fall down into where the Never Land is, but anyway, this one here should not require too big of an extension, just enough to clear the head of this. Okay, got both of these out. This bad boy can kind of get out of the way now. I'll put a towel in between. Let's try getting this out now. So I think that's all we need to do. So yeah, they weren't lying when this is a bitch to get out. You got a thing down there for holding the battery in place. You got this heat shield around it. I unbuttoned the heat shield. You gotta like somehow lift it out. Now I've heard that people use filter wrenches probably to grab by like here to just pull it up. So I'm gonna give that a go. Okay, so once you're fiddling around with this, you remove this piece here. There's actually a freaking handle. Oh my God. It's gonna make things so much easier. And there's another handle back here. So I mean, this took a second to pull out once I figured it out. So anyway, unbutton this, pull it back, grab the handle, and then now we can lift it out, hopefully. So we'll give this a go here. I'm obviously one-handed and that's impossible. So I'm gonna get this out because as you can see, I'm way past the heat shield's way over the lip of the holster and all that. So anyway, you gotta get this out without damaging the heat shield. That's very important. Okay, so you just keep tilting it, and then it should come right out. All right, once it's out, obviously very straightforward. The replacement anti-gravity battery back in this heat shield. There's a couple of buttons here, as you can see. This actually did not have any sort of button on it. It just kind of holds over the battery here. But as you can see, a couple of buttons. I unbuttoned that first one, which allowed me to get this piece out. And then once you get the battery out, you can take the rest here. They just snap. And yeah, unpack the battery here. Anyway, we got this other quick release here. Just take that off. Hopefully. There we go. And I'm going to get the anti-gravity battery in this little heat shield here. And this thing's super heavy. I would guess it's 60 pounds. Anti-gravity is supposed to be like 20. All right. There's the anti-gravity battery. There's the original battery. Like I said, it's a lot lighter. So we'll just button this back up here. I want to get this thing back on as well. So yeah, let's make sure you put it the right way, which is like so. Negative terminal. Make sure the wire's bending in the direction, so it'll go on top like that. Once we get these four in the front here, then we want to put this back on the negative terminal. Make sure it's exactly like this. Bolts sticking out like so. And then clamp it. Okay. Move this out of the way. Put this back on top here like so. I have another button here. Once that is buttoned up, this piece goes under here like so. Okay. All right, so let me get this buttoned up and then we'll get it dropped back in the compartment. All right, let's put this bad boy back together. I'm gonna start by going in reverse. So anyway, this has been the ground, or negative terminal has been connected via the fastener. Now we have to connect this bad boy with the 10 millimeter bolt on each side. Okay, now that this is on here rock solid, should tighten it up pretty good, obviously not too tight. The next part is to be connecting the positive terminal, because when you're reconnecting a battery, you always do want to do the positive first. So that's helpful that, you know, we took out that ground wire, because then we can connect those after we get this positive terminal hooked back up. So anyway, we're going to cut our zip tie and then tighten this 10 millimeter thing onto that. The next portion, we're going to be connecting the ground back. Again, be very careful as to not, you know, accidentally touch these together. So yeah, you want to keep this away from the positive and obviously the negative terminal as well. Okay, so you just finger tighten it in there, hold it up out of the way, and then yeah, get that nice and tight. You definitely want your ground of the frame to be very nice and tight. Yeah, we're just going to connect the fast connect back together. And I can already hear things happening. So anyway, I'm going to give that a few minutes. I'm going to put the trim and stuff back on here. And then there's a special procedure you have to do according to the owner's manual, which is kind of bizarre, but I'll go through that here in a second. And actually, you can probably just put all these screws in. Don't forget to do this little guy first. That should hold everything in place. Obviously get it pretty close, but it's plastic, it bends. This is going to be the biggest pain because you need your 4 millimeter manual wrench to get in. So do that first and then go from there. Once all the screws are in place, then we can easily apply the weather stripping. All right, once you got the panel back on, you know, you put the screw there, there, and way back there. Everything's all tidy and clean and tight, and obviously don't forget that screw too. Get this weather stripping on. Like I said, there's a little channel here. You want to match up with this stuff. So yeah, you get it on there, looks good. Looks like the other side that you haven't touched, this little flabby boy here. Same here. Everything's all good. So, last thing last, we're gonna put this back on. Okay, like so. Twist these things around and turn them the opposite way that it says. So turn them clockwise. Locked in, all ready to go. Except there's a few things we need to do before we start the engine. Each time the battery is reconnected, do the following before starting the engine. Close both doors and close the luggage compartment lid. Unlock and lock the doors using the remote control. Open the luggage compartment lid using the same remote control. Adjust the clock, date and time on the instrument panel. Close both doors and fully raise the driver's side and passenger side windows to their upper limits. Check that the windows move down to the target position when the doors are opened. Okay, and then before starting the engine, wait at least 60 seconds with the ignition key in position 2 to allow the electronic system in that controls the motor-driven valves and the AC ECU to run a self-acquisition process. During this period, no devices must be activated. So turn off the radio, etc., etc. I'm going to do exactly what it says. I closed all the doors and the luggage compartment lid. I'm going to unlock, lock, open the luggage compartment. It's opening. Great. I think I need to do this. Hold on. I'm going to open and close this door just in case. Oh, I got to unlock it. Okay, I'm going to close it. I know this isn't exactly correct. I don't know what they want you to change the battery of the doors open. Close both doors. And fully raise The passenger side, I don't think I can do that without putting the key in. I guess I put it in position 2. I don't know. Alright, we'll see what happens here. Turn this shit off. I turn this off. I guess I just leave it. I don't think I'm supposed to do anything right now. Just gonna leave it for a minute and then I'm gonna test the windows. So it's making all sorts of noises. It hasn't quite been a full minute yet. So just the AC turned on. I never had that on before. It turned on all by itself. And it's still sitting here doing its thing. So I'm gonna just give it a few more minutes and see what happens. All right, it's been at least 2 minutes. I'm gonna test the windows out. And make sure that they go down when you open the door. Okay, that worked good. Make sure this one does the same. Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna put the windows down so you can hear this lovely engine note on startup. Yeah, it's been about 3 minutes and the AC is still on, so I don't know what the hell. I did hear a weird noise. So yeah, let's start it up and see what happens. Pushing the brake in hard. Work. The Manatino and the ECU and EBS and all those other failures. Engine light went off. That's a good sign. Got good voltage here, much better than the old battery. See if it still does that rumble when it goes from cold start to valve. Yeah, it's still rumbling a little. So far, no errors, so that's good. Parking brake seems to be working, and yeah, this thing beeps a lot when you first take it out. Well, the good news is that it seems to have resolved the multitude of errors that I had. I think every error that could have possibly been thrown. I had EDIF, I had AVH, I had the catalysts not responding, I had engine computer failure, I had four-wheel drive failure, Manatino failure, parking brake failure, my trunk said it was open while I was driving, God, what else? But anyway, even when I would just turn the key into position 2 yesterday, those errors were still coming up. So hopefully my baby is good to go now that we got the anti-gravity battery in there. Like I said, a lot of people have sworn by them, and so far so good with the first 15-20 minute drive. I'm gonna leave it off the tender for a bit and see what happens. I'm pretty sure it'll start right up just fine, but I'm gonna give it a couple days and then take it for another drive. Hopefully no issues. So yeah, if you got any questions about the installation, leave a comment. Like, share, subscribe, all that stupid YouTuber crap. Actually, I don't care. Do whatever you want. I'm not going to boss you around.